Hi, my name is Taylor Ricketts, and I'm here with a video abstract for our new paper, Mapping the Margin, Comparing Marginal Values for Crop Pollination Services. So this is a paper that Eric Lonsdorf and I have just published, and essentially is trying to estimate the marginal value, that is the value of a unit of change of a landscape on ecosystem services. So ecosystem services are those things that nature does that benefit people, and they've become popular to try to map them across landscapes to inform policy and conservation. But most of those maps are static snapshots of their value as they are now. What we developed is a way of estimating the consequence for those ecosystem services of a unit of landscape change. A hectare or an acre that's been cut down, or a hectare or an acre that's been reforested, and how will that change the flow of ecosystem services to people in the landscape. This is a lot more relevant for policy because a lot of policy decisions are made at the margin about the next step, the next decision about what to do with a piece of land. So we use this on pollination services using a data set in Costa Rica. And essentially we took a landscape that looks in cartoon form like this. So this is the landscape, and the green areas are forests, say, and surrounding them is agriculture that requires pollination. And bees are living in the forest and pollinating the crops surrounding them when it's in flower. So pollination services are coming from forests out into the surrounding agriculture. And what we did was ask, what are the consequences for farm productivity if we, say, cut down this forest here? Which farmers win and lose pollination services? And compare that to cutting down, say, this forest here. And we tried all possible combinations of forest loss and forest restoration to ask, where is the greatest gain in productivity for agriculture or greatest loss from, in agriculture from forest loss? That's the marginal value of the pollination services. And what we found is that destroying this piece of forest had, for instance, not a lot of impact because it had a neighbor that would supply ecosystem services to pollination in its absence. But this one, which was all alone up here, this was the only option for these farmers, and its loss had big consequences in terms of lost productivity for farmers from lost pollination services. So it really mattered if there were substitutes nearby, whether the marginal values were high or low. And this is important because this map of marginal values we produced is not the same map as the static maps people typically produce. Areas that were really important for marginal values weren't highlighted in the usual static maps of typical ecosystem service values. The other thing that's important is that the values varied a lot, from almost nothing per hectare for a unit change to over $700 per hectare. So this can inform farmer decisions about where to cut or restore forest, policies about where to incentivize conservation, and it can apply to many ecosystem services, not just pollination ones. So this again is Taylor Ricketts with a video abstract on mapping marginal values of ecosystem services. Thanks.